I turned to her, heart pounding, and what? I I'm back. Snapping to my senses, I spot Mira running back with a pair of juice boxes in her hands. Juice boxes? She went through all that trouble to buy juice. Here, take one. Don't take this the wrong way, but is this the best you could come up with? I was kidding, but she looks like she's seriously offended. But juice is good. It's tasty, healthy, and it refreshes the body and mind. I can give it a shot. I pull the straw out of its container and push it through the foil coating and sip. Peach. Yep, it's my favorite. It's strong. Yes, it's highly concentrated peach juice, filled with as much pulp as physically possible. Incredible, isn't it? Why do I talk to you? Because you can't resist. God damn it. So pulpy. Seriously? I used to love these when I was a kid. Were you possessed by the devil when you were a kid? You don't have much faith in my taste buds, do you? Not at the moment, no. Sitting on a park bench, Sitting on a park bench on a school morning in the middle of winter, talking ideally about meaningless things without a trace of awareness in the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that we were childhood friends. So, what were you like as a kid, Mira? Me? Trying to think of a way to avoid the question. Kinda. Well, at least she's honest. Alright then, I won't bother asking about your past. It's obviously something you don't want to talk about. That's suspiciously kind of you. Don't get used to it. I'm just not in the mood right now. Since we're already spending our morning here instead of doing what we should be doing, might as well make it count, right? Mira finishes the thick mass of pulp she calls juice. I take a sip of it. You know, I think I think I like you, Mark. Any guy who can warm up to a stranger after only a couple of days has to be a good person. Did you just compliment me? Well, he would also have to be naive and careless, and probably disloyal too. You're a horrible person. Why, thank you. I swear, this girl is. You're thinking something along the lines of this girl might be weird, but she's actually kind of nice now that we're talking to her, right? Nope, definitely not. Spot on. Well then, what were you thinking about? I was thinking that you're surprisingly good at making conversation even when you barely know someone. Ah, really? I never used to be good at this stuff before. She abruptly stops, the last puff of condensation disappearing into the sky. I mean, having trouble? You're a strange guy. Hmm? Do you hate me? What's that supposed to mean? Are you serious? No, of course not. You'd never hate someone like me, right? Sorry about that. I'm being weird. I'm usually not weird. Could have fooled me. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's change the subject. But we have nothing to talk about, remember? That's not true. We can talk about you. Me? What makes you think there's anything interesting about me? You'd be surprised. I mean, there's only one way to know for certain, right? So let's start. Do you want an autobiography? Not exactly. Let's start with something simple like, I know. What kind of stuff do you do at school? Well, nothing right now, seeing as I'm skipping for the first time this term, thanks to someone. You don't have to be here if you don't want to be. You know what I mean. I don't know, school's normal for us. We show up, attend classes, do homework, write tests, and eventually we arrive at the summer holidays. That's it, pretty much. Then, what are you studying? Do you have any particular aspirations? Nah, not really. I'm not an aspiration kind of guy. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for you in the future then. Straight to the point, I see. To be honest, I think I respect the fact that you're not looking for too much out of life. You just called me a simpleton, didn't you? You're simple, but not exactly in a bad way. So you're not denying it. That's not the point. I think it's nice that you can appreciate the finer details in life and not aim for anything too grand. It's intriguing. You're the first person that's ever said that to me. Really? I thought it would have been a pretty common opinion. It isn't, trust me. Everywhere I go, people are always telling me that I aim too low, that I don't have any real direction. But lack of direction doesn't necessarily mean you're lost. It just means that you're making your way to finish without making making your way to the finish without taking any preset route. The conclusion's the same. Not bad. I never expected that much from you. You really don't have much faith in me, do you? Well, even if that were the case in the past, I think it's changed now. I've gained a bit more respect for you. It's particularly an insult, but maybe I can accept it as a compliment. At any rate, school isn't a big deal for us. It's just something that students put up with because we have to. And I'm definitely not the only one without a goal. I see, but your your friends bother you about it? From my experience, yeah, it bothers them all right, or at least it definitely bothers one of them. You haven't changed, Mark. You're still. Mira's eyes drift to the ground, lost in the deserted, wintry paradise. The cold wind stings at my heart. I told you I'm fine. There's no need to worry about me. I told you. No, I didn't tell her anything. It's just a topic that I instinctively avoid. You're right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry. We dance around each other, tiptoeing on thin ice. Without warning, Mira pulls out a pocket watch, one of the old-fashioned ones, and with elegant designs, a tits, a fist, into the metal, and checks the time. Ah, this has been fun, but I've really got to go. My school is less than lenient than I made it sound. Before I can ask about the pocket watch, she skips away. Wait, Mira. I normally I'd wait, but I really don't have the time to stick around anymore. I'd like to see you again. Whenever you have time, doesn't matter, don't disappear on me. Silly. Didn't we agree? Didn't we already go over this? Of course I'll find you. With that, she turns the corner and disappears into the snow. And don't be late for school. I shout those words at an empty park, unsure of why I spoke them. A few minutes after morning bell finishes its chime, the teacher walks in at my first class begins. I'm on time? Either that or he's 10 minutes late. I sigh audibly and slouch in my chair. Lillian. Of course. She'll be here, won't she? And after everything that happened before, I'm not sure what to say to her. Oh, looks like the class is beginning. Guess I'd better try to pay attention today. The key word being try. Lunch arrives before I realize it. Yeah, this whole paying attention thing doesn't really suit me. More importantly, I've got to track down Ren and Lucas to ask about what they were doing the other day. Do you understand now? This is why the ratio is so important. I see. This isn't the first time you've said this, but you're a strange guy. Lillian and Lucas are in our usual spot, talking about something. I can hear them from where I'm standing, but they can't see me. What? I'm not eavesdropping. I'm just checking my watch. Extremely slowly. It might sound strange to you, but it's a key element of character design. How do you expect to learn to draw if you can't look at things from the perspective of the fan? Well, this was just your impromptu idea. That's not the point. Information like this comes in handy everywhere in life. I'd like to know every single place where that might come in handy. That's an insignificant detail. Just don't forget 4125. It's a necessity. I might regret asking this, but do you really find these things that interesting? But of course, 'tis a vital aspect of my existence. And you're not ashamed at all to talk about it? Not in the slightest. Not even to a girl. Well, maybe a little, but I have no limit. I have no need to admit that to you. You weren't planning on saying that, were you? A cunning mastermind such as myself makes no mistakes. But occasionally a slip of the tongue does occur. Something strange. I'm not sure what, but you're a strange guy. And I'm not interested in ordinary humans, so I have no complaints. Lillian laughed in reaction, but it's not the same way you'd laugh at a sitcom on TV or a bad pun. You're far more transparent than you think. Has anyone ever told you that? Not in recent memory. Damn it, something's not right. You create an identity by presenting to push reality away, but reality you're just... Sorry I'm late. I barged into the hall. I had to talk to one of my teachers after class. What have you guys been up to? Well, I was just telling Lillian about the ideal ratio of... Never mind that. What have you been doing, Lillian? My only normal friend here. Ha ha ha, just the usual. Then let's eat. Studying makes me hungry. I take out my lunch with more vigor than others. The others seem to notice that something's off, but never mind. It's lunchtime. That's all. But I remembered something as our conversation continued. It's not a complete memory, but it's there somewhere. It happened by chance. Luca's binder was left lying on the ground, and a small, brightly colored object stuck out from the front. It was a bookmark. It was a normal bookmark for the most part, crudely laminated with a plain design. The only notable thing about it was that I'd seen it before. It was lying in Lillian's drawer yesterday, tucked safely away. I kept telling myself that it's pointless, but I can't shake the feeling that this memory is somehow relevant. Did Lucas give it to her as a present? That might make sense, but then how does he have the same one? It could just be a coincidence, but I know it isn't. It's silly. The thing I'm trying to remember is so irrelevant that I forgot it after only a year, and yet it must have been important to some. It must have been important to at least one person for it to be stored away so deliberately. Mark, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just... Alright, just making sure. Anyway, as I was saying, Lillian continues talking. Lillian continues talking, but my mind is too clouded to make any sense of it. Hang on a moment. That isn't who I think it is it? I turn to look outside. I turn to look outside. My suspicion is proven correct. At first, I had only seen one, but there are two figures in the snow. One of them has every right to be there, although she should probably be sitting with us instead. As for the other, sorry guys, but I'll be back in a moment. Watch my stuff. I spring to my feet and dash outside. Well, well, look who decided to show up. Gasping for breath, I catch them before they reach the entrance. That's what I should be telling you. What are you doing here? Nothing in particular, I was bored, so I decided to pay you a visit. At school of all places. I did say I would come back, didn't I? This just proves that I'm not a liar. That's besides the point. Only if I wanted to be. What? Do you even care about anything about making sense anymore? Don't be mean, Oni-chan. Mira just bumped into me on the way to school and asked for directions. Then we started talking and she ended up following me here. She was just trying to be friendly. And you don't think she's even remotely creepy. More importantly, your sister seems to be quite an interesting person, Mark. Mira puts on a mischievous grin, as if she knows something isn't supposed as if she knows something she isn't supposed to know and wants me to know that she knows it. Anyway, what are we idling around here for? Let's go grab something to eat. What? I already have a lunch. It's okay, just junk food tastes better. And I have friends to eat with. Don't you want to eat with your precious childhood friend? You said you were my childhood friend. I did. Now let's go. Ah, wait. Have fun. So, what exactly are these things? Just eat it. What's the worst that could happen? You could be trying to poison me. Why would I do something like that? I'm not sure why you would do anything you do. Good point. Well, I guess you'll have to live in fear as long as I'm by your side. Sounds like a dream come true. Mira takes a bite out of a fish-shaped snack. These things creep me out. I'm not sure if I want to know what's inside them. I think I heard Rin talking about these once. Something about a character that really liked them. Oh, and what happened? I think she died. That's disappointing. Or maybe she came back to life or something. I don't know. It's not like that's relevant to anything. Yeah, I guess not. That was an odd pause. Anyway, what are you waiting for? Surely you don't want to starve out here after voluntarily choosing to skip lunch. I guess in her word, voluntary choosing means being physically dragged from one point to another. You won't know what it's like until you try it. Take a bite. Fine, fine. Sweet. I know, isn't it great? It's not bad. See? She takes another bite, looking like a kid in a candy store. You're not difficult to please, are you? Are you implying something? No, I'm asking directly. That's not the point. Now do you see how I feel when I talk to you? She devours the last of her snack to hide the fact that she is at a loss for words. You look like you don't have a worry in the world. It must be nice. I don't have much to worry about in the first place, right? We can we can take as much time as we need. That smile. It makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm just glad you weren't trying to poison me with this thing after all. I told you, I won't do something like that. The most I do is try to mess with your social life. Is that supposed to be comforting? You're easy to toy with. So, Mira, if you don't want to tell me about yourself, then tell me about your past. The distant past, even. Why would you ask that all of a sudden? Well, you were talking to Rin, right? She must have asked something about you, and I don't think you could have worded your way around it. Oh, I wouldn't go as far as to say that. True. But still, you gotta have. But still, you must have told her something, right? It's a little unfair that she knows more about it than I do. Nero drops her chin on her fingers. Fair enough. So, Where do you want me to start? No, that's a tricky one. I don't even think she. I didn't even think she'd agree. Well, what about your life before high school? What are you doing? What were you doing before we met? You, you don't pull your punches, do you? She grins awkwardly, but continues on. Ahem, I'm not sure if I told you this, but I was living in another country a few years ago. It was from the end of junior high to the beginning of high school. Okay, now I'm curious. Feel free to stop talking when you want, but mind telling me how you ended up in another country? Well, it's a long story. I can't wait. I can wait. I know, but she saws it out of me. I guess that's the end of that. It's alright. I understand. I'm sorry for prying. Oh no, there's no need to apologize. That it's nice to see that you're being open with me. Shouldn't it be the other way around? You haven't told me much about yourself either. That's because you already seem to know all there is to know. I can't argue with that. I smirk. I smirk on unconceitedly. It's like I'm talking to an old friend. Well, it's up to you, but I don't think it's helping us grow closer if we don't tell anything about ourselves. I mean, to hit a. I didn't mean to hit. I didn't mean to hit a nerve, but you really want to know? When you put it like that, when you put it that way, I'm not sure. If it's important to you, then I can talk. But only if you promise that you're not just doing it out of curiosity. I stare at her and regret sinks in. Sorry. No, I should apologize. It isn't like me to get this serious. Even though I haven't known you for long, I think we've talked enough for me to understand just a little bit about you. I know enough to say that you're not suited to being depressed. Hey, I'm still human. Humans are allowed to be depressed. But how do you explain jumping off the roof and vanishing into the snow? Well, maybe I'm just a special human. A human that can teleport isn't human. You shouldn't ruin a girl's dreams. Yep, she's definitely back to normal. You're a lot more childish than I first thought. What, would you rather have acted like a elegant lady that lives in a mansion, drinks expensive tea every morning, and goes on a prejudiced all-girls high school? That was a very specific example. No, I'm not saying it as an insult. I just find it surprising. I think it's kind of nice that you act like this. It makes me feel like I can relate to you. You don't think you can? You don't think you can relate to the refined type? Well, no, not really. And I don't think many of us can either. Maybe you're right. Well, that's okay. I'm far from refined, as you can see. Mira brushes her hair aside, and her dark expression with it. This is who I really am, anyway. Just an exerted kid who enjoys a quiet night of reading. If that's how you want to pull it, then I'm just a weak-willed slacker who would skip school right before exams to talk to a girl he barely knows. It's an odd combination, but I think it works. And that's all that matters. Come on, let's go. The day is still young. She walks up ahead, and for once, I willingly follow. It's an odd combination, but I think it works. That that phrase remained in my mind as the hours passed. I still remember Lillian's downcast eyes that studied the ripples in her mug of hot chocolate. But that memory is dueling with the strangely captivating performance that Mira is putting on. I can't explain it, but Mira, it feels as if we've known each other for over a really, really long time. But getting attached is dangerous. I'm checking my watch. 2 o'clock p.m. School has long since started for the evening, so there's no chance of me making it back. Congrats, Mira. You've particularly made me skip class. Really? She pulls out an elegant pocket watch and checks the time. What time does lunch end again? 1 p.m. Well, if you want to head back, I guess it's alright. I know you're not exactly a top student, so I wouldn't want you failing on my account. Is she actually being considerate? Well, I probably should head back, but then you'd be all alone, wouldn't you? I suppose I would. I dragged you out here for school, out of school for a reason, after all. So I'd like it if you stayed. So you were just offering to be polite? I guess you could say that. Somehow I'm not surprised. It's fine. I think this is a worthy sacrifice anyway. I mean, sacrifices are important sometimes. That's true. It's like the concept of risk taking, isn't it? Hmm? Think about it. No one likes feeling vulnerable, but in sacrificing the comfort of the status quo, you might get something more valuable than what you had before. I suppose that's right. It is, isn't it? But to be honest, that's the kind of thing that only works in economic textbooks. It's like you can buy a patty that you're too afraid to take the first bite in case it's too hot. Yeah, I guess that's what it comes down to, isn't it? Humans are naturally afraid of burning their tongues. Yep. I know more about that than anyone else. Why do you get the why do I get the feeling you mean that literally? Oh, you mean we weren't talking about food? The city sure is a nice place in the winter, isn't it? Mir Mira str- Mira stretches out her arms and embraces the chilly wind. The sun is already sinking and her wet hair is almost glowing. You're almost talking like you're new to the place. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I knew you'd say that. My hands are in my pockets, virtually holding from the cold, but I unconcealedly scratch the side of my face. It's always like this in the winter, though. Even if the snow piles up in the parking lots by February, winter is known to be our most beautiful season. I can see why. It's refreshing. She takes a deep breath, and I feel compelled to do the same. Her cheeks turn red from the cold. That was when it hit me. You're not used to winter, are you? No, no, I guess I'm not. It doesn't even occur to me that I'm asking about her past. Well, to be honest, I spent the last few years of my life in a place with very mild winters. But I used to live here before, so it's not a major change. I guess you could say that it's nostalgic for me. If you don't mind my asking, why exactly did you leave the country? You don't have to answer, but it sounds like you really didn't want to go. I never had much of a life here. I was different as a child too. Oh, I wasn't like you and your sister and your friends at school. I never had to worry about the problems that normal kids face, like homework, friendship, and romance. There was nothing tying me to this place, so I left. But I guess that doesn't mean that I was happy to go. Are you happy now? Sorry, I said too much, didn't I? I didn't mean to make you worry, but I never get to talk about myself, so. But to answer your question, yes, I'm happy now. I'm pretty sure. Then that's all that matters. Slowly, aimlessly, we move forward, footsteps following us in the snow. There's something skeptically nostalgic about the early winter sunsets. All of the days when the sun sets before 6 o'clock, and it feels like late evening when you're coming home from school. It's a little bit wistful. How far, how far do you live, by the way? Oh, not far, here and there. I should have expected an answer like that from you. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Don't tell me we're back to square one after everything we talked about. Well, I can't be too open, can I? That would ruin the surprise. I wonder what goes through this girl's mind. Anyway, there's one thing you forgot to calculate this time. Her expression freezes at last, a weak point. Ahem. This time, are you going to finish the sentence or not? Sorry, I just wanted to see how long the suspense could last. I think you pushed it a little too far. Oh, sorry. Anyway, as I was trying to say, I was only asking you where you live to make sure you could stay out of this late. Oh, wait, you worried about me? Worried is a strong word. I'm just concerned. That's the same thing. Regardless, you might live outside of the city for all I know. I wouldn't want you going home too late. It's getting dark, but it's still early. I'll be fine. Yeah, but, well, you live close enough to get home by yourself, right? I do, don't worry. Although, she just mumbled something. I hate when people do that. I said, you said, I said I wouldn't mind if you walked me home anyway. Oh, well, but it's still early, isn't it? There's no need to think about going home yet. Don't get all serious now. You started it. Either she's doing this on purpose or she's just as nervous as me. My money is on the front former. Come on, let's go. You walk too slowly. Alright, I'm coming. How long have we been wandering the streets like this? Maybe a couple hours. Couple of hours. As you said that out loud, did it sound at least ridiculous to you? Not really. Should it have? Yes, of course it should have. Doesn't our aimlessness bug you even a little? As long as you're having fun, right? I suppose. Still, we should probably think of somewhere to go. My feet are killing me. You need to improve your stamina. Huh? You mean you're not tired yet? No, not really. Or you hardly seem physically fit. Really? Do I come across as a playful, innocent girl with a psychological scar somewhere in her past? Or something like that? When did everyone around me become psychic? I can't imagine you running laps, but anything's possible. I get that reaction a lot. We had a sports day at school once, and everyone thought I wouldn't be able to do a thing for class. And I'm guessing I know what happened next. I won first place in the 200-meter run. Ah, so you're intelligent, sophisticated, and athletic. Don't don't forget reliable and organized. Great. Don't worry though. I couldn't do homework to save my life, and I always spare the crumbs when I'm eating cookies. So I'm not perfect yet. I'm not perfect either. How comforting. I swear, this girl. One of these days, you've got to cure that daydreaming habit. Easier said than done. It can't be that bad. Just try focusing more. I can't. My brain is always working. It's like a laptop without a power button. Except it never runs out of batteries. And it can't calculate two-digit products without a pencil and paper. Most people can't. You're too easy. Well, at least I'm always thinking about something. Maybe I'm actually a genius and no one realizes it. A genius at nearly failing second year math? It could happen. Geniuses don't have to be. I was about to say smart, but that, that wouldn't be very genius like it. Don't have to be automatically successful to be intelligent. It could just be, I don't know, deep. I'd hate to admit it, but you might be right. Still, you have to learn to control your mind. A powerful brain is being wasted on a person like you. Just remember, this is the brain that decided to sacrifice a valuable half day of school. Most likely missing a test or two to waste the evening with a girl it hardly knows. I never said an unsophisticated brain couldn't be an extra one. Compliment number two? She still isn't very good at this. Okay, now my feet are really hurting. Isn't that what we were originally talking about? It is, isn't it? Conversation was about to go another tangent before I realized what she was doing. Come on, even you must be tired right now. Just a little. Score. See, so we should sit down somewhere. Somewhere warm. Well, if you're that tired, I know of a place we can go. I noticed Mira limping slightly as she walked ahead. Either your leg is broken or you're as tired as I am. Alright, fine, you win. That's what I thought. But I'm not cold yet, so we're staying outside. Is that even an official path? It's official enough. I don't know officialness work on a spectrum. From a well shoved and salted city sidewalk with stores and lounges and food on every corner, I somehow find myself climbing up a snow covered hill in the middle of nowhere. I can't even begin to fathom why I trust Mir's idea of a nice place to relax. You know, this is probably dangerous. I used to go here all the time in the past. It'll be fine. Probably illegal as well. No worries. The police have better things to do than patrol an old hill in the corner of the city. I have better things to do than be climb. I have better things to do than be climbing an old hill in the corner of the city, but I'm still doing it. Well, as long as we don't die, I guess I'm fine with it. We probably won't die. Either way, you're climbing below me, so I'll land on I'll land on you if you fall. In other words, you probably won't die. Precisely. Don't worry though, I'm light. I don't think I can kill you that easily. That isn't the problem here. Oh look, it's the cop. And what exactly is so special about this place to begin with? You'll find out soon enough. Come on. Mira beckons me to come faster, and despite my frozen toes and soaking wet socks, I follow. Ah, what can I say? This place is beautiful. And it takes a lot for someone like me to say that. See, I told you it would be worth it. I take a deep breath. The hills overlooking the city. It's pretty stunning. Say, is there any reason for that huge tree to be planted here? Actually, yes, there is. You can't tell me right now, but you can't tell me right now, but it's actually a cherry blossom tree. It was donated by a local CEO of a manufacturing company, and it's been growing here ever since. Huh, pretty impressive. From what I heard, he planted it here to mark what he deemed to be the most beautiful place in the city. You seem to know an awful lot about this person. Well, I read a lot of books. He's somewhat of a legend in the city, too, so it's only natural that I know about him. Actually, I think I've heard of this story before. What was his name? Kennedy, or was it Kendrick? Leonard Kinsey? Close enough. The company he formed has close ties to East Asia as well. Explains why he chose the territory. Yes, it does. Both a business gesture and a sentimental one. He sounds like a great man. He is. But that last word. But but what? You started it. It's a bless it's a blessing and a curse. Just think about it. His story is a glamorous one, right? The way he fought against the odds, overcoming his rivals, a tale of human courage and willpower. But what about the people he left behind? There's a lot of emptiness. Not for him, really, but for the people who weren't there to witness his struggle against the world. Don't worry about it. You're fine now, right? It hurts. If you're fine now, there's nothing else to worry about. It's as simple as that. The wind sings its hollow song in the silence. What if that? What if you want to cry? Then it's okay. It's alright. I'm fine, really. But thanks for the offer. Her words vanish from the twilight. She sits there, mere inches from me, shielded by the glass wall. It's the coolest we've ever. It's the coolest we've ever been, and I've never felt so far. But I'll never forget this. This cold wind and her warm shoulder an inch from mine. It's one of those rare, precious moments when you realize that each passing second is being written as a memory.